What's good, YouTube? Andre here with the DM Network. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, y'all. It's completely free, it costs you nothing, and it helps us out to grow and continue to do what we love doing and creating content. Now, on to the video. In today's edition of Dragon Ball Game Project Z Action RPG, I'm going to talk about the storyline. Now, I was going to save this video for tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and do it tonight. So if you're seeing this, it's tonight. It's nighttime, but you may be seeing this early in the morning, but whenever, it doesn't matter. And the reason I want to talk about the storyline is because an image recently released from, I think it was in V Jump, is where the image came out. Now, the image that you're seeing here is the image of Goku with his son Gohan. Now, the image that was released, I want to say it was in V Jump magazine. And in that magazine, they showed this image of Goku with Gohan, but in the background, they had their own magazine art and the Japanese writing and stuff like that. This one comes from Bandai Namco. And this is the image that was shown. This is the image that's out there right now. And it was in advertising of Dragon Ball Project Z. What is so cool about this? And today, y'all, we're talking about the story. Because I knew from the tweet and from Instagram that Bandai Namco said that the development started in 2019 and that it would take place in the Dragon Ball Z universe. Thus the name Dragon Ball Game Project Z and not Super. Now, that doesn't mean that Super isn't going to be in the game. It's saying that the game is going to take place starting in Dragon Ball Z. And that is confirmed by the image here that they sent out with Goku and Teen Gohan. Now, look at that animation. That looks awesome. Of course, it looks just like the anime. I don't think that some people say that this could be an in-game image. I don't think that it is. If it is, it may be a cinematic. I don't think it's going to be one of those 3D rendered games. I know we talked about that with the graphics and stuff. I think that they are going to go the anime route and animate the game to look like the anime. The characters may be 3D in form, but I think it'll be 3D in the sense of how they are in Xenoverse, or 2D rather, however you want to say it. I don't think they'll look like they would kind of like in Jump Force and games like that, you see. I don't think they'll be that 3D computer rendered characters, but we'll just have to wait and see. But this confirms that it does indeed start at Dragon Ball in the Saiyan saga, which was the first saga in Dragon Ball Z. Whenever Goku and Piccolo fought against Raditz and then later Vegeta and Nappa. And I'm excited. I'm excited because if you look at some of my older videos when I talked about the future of Dragon Ball gaming and stuff like that, this is some of the things that I talked about. I said, since Super is out, we're going to have people creating games, especially with Dragon Ball growing more popular, y'all. And we have already had that. Xenoverse 2, Dragon Ball Fighters, Dragon Ball Heroes is coming to the Switch, and then this game here. And I said it, now it's time for us to go back to the roots. Remember the roots, Budokai Tenkaichi, Budokai, those games where you actually got to play through the storyline. Now they changed it a little bit in Rage and Blast, and after that they just vacated it with the whole Xenoverse thing, going to the timeline thing, playing off of Dragon Ball Online. This is taking us back to what we know, the glory days, where we get to play through the entire sagas from Dragon Ball Z and hopefully up through Dragon Ball Super. I don't know why they would leave Super out. I don't see them doing that. But I know people will say, well, if Super's in the game, why don't they just call it Project Dragon Ball Super? Because it's not going to start in Super. It's going to start at the beginning and will more than likely work our way to Super. You see what I'm saying? And that's super exciting. No pun intended. And this story, now, here's the big question. Are we going to have create a character in this game? Do we even want to create a character in the game? You want to create a character in the game? Let me know down in the comment section down below. And if so, why? And how do you think they'll work it out? Because here's my issues with create a character. If the story is going to be us playing through the sagas from the Saiyan saga up through Super, how will they fit a create a character into that? Now, you may remember a game called Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi. where we first had a created character in a Dragon Ball game. And in that, we played through the sagas for the most. It was a very short game. I mean, it wasn't extensive as far as playing through the sagas, but we did go through the different things and some different things as well. Um, but for the most part, we were assisting Goku. We were assisting them in these battles. Then Xenoverse took it another step and took it into like a whole multiverse thing. So I don't see them having a created character in the story. And the reason why is because if we have a created character, where does the created character come from? Is it somebody, or are they just going to completely change the story in a sense where this character crash lands on Earth along with Goku and grows up with him or something like that? Or it either has to be something like that, or it's going to have to be somebody who comes from the future. You see what I'm saying? And if that's the case, then definitely that's not something that's based in the Xenoverse. That's something that's based off Xenoverse. That's not something that's based off of Dragon Ball Z. And that's why I don't think that they will go this route, especially with them advertising Goku with Gohan. I think that this is going to be a story of Goku. I think this will finally be a single player game where we play Goku through Dragon Ball Z all the way up through Dragon Ball Super. Now, will we be able to control the other characters? I'm sure we will. But I don't think this will have anything to do with the created character at all. Because they're going to say, look, if you want to create a character, go to Xenoverse. If you want a true fighting game, go to Fighters. This is something different. This is for the RPG people. This is for the people who've been wanting a complete Dragon Ball experience through the story. You see what I'm saying? So if that's the case, I'm extremely happy because we don't need something like Xenoverse. We don't need something like Fighters, which we know it's not going to be like Fighters because it's an action RPG. Xenoverse has some elements of RPG as far as the leveling up, but it's not, in my opinion, a true RPG. This is going to be that something different. So the story. Now we're making this video now, so I'm pretty sure this is what the story is going to be. We're going to go from Dragon Ball Z up through Dragon Ball Super. Now, if Super isn't in the game at release, I'm more than likely sure it's going to be some kind of DLC later on, expansion passes and stuff like that. I have no issues with that. That's cool. That's fine. As long as the main game is very, very in depth. And I'm sure it's going to be an open world kind of game. I'm excited to see it. Most people, we're kind of spoiled from Xenoverse playing with a created character. But like I said, I find myself playing Xenoverse and I be wanting to play with Vegeta like I did in Budokai, and stuff like that, or in Rage and Blast. People knock Rage and Blast, y'all, but I really like Rage and Blast too. That game was really, really cool to me because of the customization that you had in Rage and Blast 2. It felt almost like you were creating a character. I mean, you could change their auras, you can have different move sets and capsules and buffs and nerfs or whatever for each character's different transformation. For instance, I can have a completely different move set for my base Vegeta than I did for Vegeta at Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2. That was so awesome. And I hope that they have something as far as depth wise like that in this game. But story wise, y'all, Dragon Ball Z, this picture, this image that they sent out confirms it, y'all, that we are going to start at Dragon Ball Z. It's going to be a saga style game where we play through the sagas. Like I said, I don't think that we will be a created character going through the entire saga because to me, then it ties into Xenoverse because where did the character come from? You get what I'm saying? So which would you like? Would you like to play through the sagas from the Saiyan saga all the way up through Dragon Ball Super as Goku and the others? Or would you like to have a created character to play alongside the Z fighters from the Saiyan saga up through Super? It would get a different experience, but at the same time, it would, in my opinion, take away from the nostalgia of the anime without the whole what if scenarios and things like that, y'all. But I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited about the story. I can't wait to hear more about it. We should hear something this weekend. And as far as release date, last time they announced a project for Dragon Ball, I want to say it was when they was developing Xenoverse. Now, there's some mixed words here because Bandai says that they are developing or they started development in 2019, but that doesn't mean that they don't already have some stuff going for the game, because they have to have something to bring to the table. And that's why this weekend we may get a scan, we may get a teaser trailer or something like that, because they already have those things ready to bring to the table before they bring on a development team, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but honestly, I wouldn't expect it to come out this year. And like I said, Dragon Ball games for the most part, they've always released around either uh February or November, somewhere in there. So I wouldn't expect it this year. I wouldn't even expect it maybe February of next year. I'm thinking maybe fall of 2020. And I know that's a long time, but that's not a bad thing, because if it takes them that long, then just know that we're probably getting a game that's really, really, really in depth. And I know what you would say, well, Andre, why would they announce a game now if they're going to release it? I mean, they do that all the time to build up hype. Now, one thing that's different from Bandai than, say, from the developer of Days Gone or Death Stranding, is that when Bandai announces a game, it doesn't take them 2 and 3 years to bring that game out. So I would say expect it, if not February of next year, then November of next year, which is a long time, yes, but it'll be here before you know it, hopefully. So that's all I got for right now. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that like button, turn on notifications, y'all, because I'm doing videos every single day about this game. As soon as I get information on it, you're going to get information on it. Unless Bandai wants to sponsor me, Bandai, I'm more than open to that. And I will sign a non-disclosure agreement. Just saying, I don't know, just throwing it out there. But nah, with all due respect, y'all, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.